Hey pillars, and welcome back to a brand new video. In this video, we're going to be discussing the recent Trek recall that has just been issued, telling riders to immediately stop riding if they have a 2022 Speed Concept SLR bike, along with 2021, 2022 Amonda SLRs, and aftermarket Bontrager Aeolus RSL VRC handlebars. So this video is just in case you are either riding a Trek or know someone that is, or know someone in the group rider local community, that you can tell them about this new recall and tell them to get to their local bike shop or Trek dealer to have this recall sorted out, where I'll tell you what is the actual solution for this recall, why it was issued, just a little bit of the background information along with my personal opinion at the end. So I hope you find this video valuable. So let's jump right into it. Now you might be asking, what is the reason behind this recall? And it's because of several carbon handlebars basically failing and breaking, and these were reported to the Consumer Product Safety Commission, and then Trek issued their recall. Now if we move over to the United States Consumer Product Safety Commission, you can see that Trek Bicycles Corporation recall road bikes and bicycle handlebars slash stems due to a fall and crash hazard. So this is the official recall in terms of it being issued on the Consumer Product Safety Commissions, and basically the name of the product or the products in question are the model year 2022 Speed Concept SLR. So that's Trek's TT bike, along with 2021, 2022 Amonda SLRs, along with 2022, 2021, and 2022 aftermarket Bontrager Aeolus RSL VRC handlebars slash stems. So basically the hazard is the bicycle carbon handlebars can crack, posing fall and crash hazards. So you can see, I love how they use Microsoft Paint-ish arrows to show where it cracks on this handlebar. But basically, when you have a one-piece handlebar system, this is something that's very common that can happen. And I say very common in the sense of this is not an uncommon recall to happen with a one piece. Obviously, the only thing I can really think about when it comes to a one piece handlebar that can go wrong is that it cracks. And when you have one piece equipment, it gets very, very scary. And I'll tell you why. When I worked in the cycling industry, I always was very drawn to one piece handlebars because let's be honest, it looks really nice, looks very clean, looks very pro. But the thing that always scared me was that if you did crash in a race, group ride, or just even training, how would you validate that the carbon handlebar one piece is still intact, has no flaws, has no hairline, the integrity is still there? It's very, very difficult and would cost a lot of money. So that's why I've always stayed away from it, just because I'd rather have the peace of mind having just an aluminum, cockpit, where this, one piece system causes a lot of problems potentially. And the other thing too, where we don't know in this situation, is that what is the weight of the riders, where were they riding, the type of terrain, were they going in potholes, were they going on loose roads? Like, a lot of things can affect the integrity, especially at the front of the bike, because not only do you put a lot of the upper body weight on that, so it depends on rider's weight, but along with potholes, along with road conditions. So there's a lot of things that can go wrong. And like I said, for me, it's always a peace of mind to have, a two-piece system rather than a one-piece system. But I'll never lie and say that these do not look anything but beautiful and very pro. Now, looking at the rest of the report, you do have a recall for 2021, 2022 Amonda SLR bikes, and that would probably be just Trek wanting to cover themselves for the stems. That's all I can see because it's all one piece here. But if we do move on to the 2022 Speed Concept SLR, this is a one-piece system as well. And you can see the cracks are reported on the thinnest section. So, looking back here, there are cracks reported right where you would put your hands if you're just cruising, and then also where it gets thinner. So, very common spots where carbon would actually fail because it goes from having a wide surface area to a very thin one. And like I said, the rider weight, and then obviously where you're riding and how you ride obviously plays a role in terms of, the handlebar or the cockpit having stress and then failing basically. So this is the Speed Concept that we have on screen. And, I love the look of Trek bikes, one of the top threes in terms of bike brands, but just very unfortunate. And this basically says for the remedy or the solution is to replace. Recall date was August 25th. I'm filming this video on the 30th, so it's been 5 days. In terms of how many bikes are affected, it's about 3,200 bikes, 900 aftermarket handlebar stems, in addition to about 530 bikes and 115 handlebar slash stems in Canada. So this is a Canada slash US recall. I'd be curious to see what other parts of the world have been affected with the Trek also. And then if we go on to Cycling Weekly, there's some more information in terms of what is your steps moving forward if you are in the situation where you ride one of these bikes or have bought these handlebar systems to put onto your bike, how you're going to move forward. So looking for the solution that has been issued by Trek, it says customers should immediately stop using the bicycles or bicycles equipped with the Aeolus RSL VRC handlebar/stems and contact their local Trek retailer. Trek said in a statement, if you are the owner of a 2022 Trek Speed Concept SLR bike and official, a Trek retailer will install a replacement base for free. For the Trek Iman SLR bikes and aftermarket Bontrager Aeolus RSL VCR handlebar stems, Trek will provide an individual handlebar and stem until an updated handlebar/stem combo is available, which is very generous of them. Obviously, I say that, but it's their fault, and you bought a pretty expensive bike or handlebar system, so that's basically what they should do. I've had problems with bike companies when it comes to warranty and stuff, and anytime a bike brand goes above and beyond, even when they're in the wrong, I always appreciate, because I've, like I said, had situations where they were in the wrong and didn't care. So anyways, as an extra incentive to bring your bike or bars in for replacement, Trek is also offering $100/100 in-store credit that can be used toward any Trek or Bontrager products through the end of the year. So that's great to see. Obviously, that doesn't really cost them anything in terms of making sure people stay safe, because if you don't have an incentive to bring your bike in and they have a defective product that they sold, they are still liable for it. So it's just another tool that I think is very good that they're doing to bring people in to fix and mitigate this problem. The only downside I really want to share from my personal opinion in terms of experiencing recalls and working in the cycling industry is that if you did buy an aftermarket handlebar and you have it on your bike, it's like now you have to bring your bike in, and if that's your only bike, you're going to be out of a bike now. And it's just unfortunate, because anytime you have a recall, it just really takes away from the rider experience of the brand, because you bought this bike, you want to ride it, and now you have to wait, and depending on how busy the Trek retailer is or your local bike shop, you're going to have to wait around until they can get you back out. Now, the other thing I wanted to note that I saw on road.cc is, when I worked in the cycling industry, sometimes you would have warranty issues and the warranty would cover it, but then you would still, as the customer, have to pay out of pocket for the labor on it. So here it says that Trek will provide you with a handlebar and stem plus bar tape, because that's one thing that probably goes over a lot of people's head when they even saw this. Is like, oh great, like they'll replace it, they'll give you something until they can update it and fix it and mitigate the situation, but then like handlebar tape to remove it and put the new handlebars, like you might be out of a bar tape because you don't want to reapply used bar tape, because we all know how bar tape forms and stuff. To redo it after it's already been on for a month, like it's not going to feel good. Like if you ride a lot, it's not going to feel good. So it's just very interesting. I just want to note that even here, the amount of labor that's going to go into just taking off the old handlebar in terms of having to just rewire everything, all the cables and stuff, is a headache, especially with a TT bike. I'm pretty sure this is the last thing a lot of mechanics will want to do. Now, I do know usually this is covered obviously by Trek. They will issue for warranties or recalls. They will pay the bike shops or the retailers in full for any labor costs on top of the replacement. So usually I would say Trek's a solid brand. I've worked at bike shops, I've carried Trek, so Trek's a really good brand in terms of their warranties and stuff, but obviously you get that in terms of the price when you pay for these pieces of equipment. But all in all, my ending thoughts on this video in terms of my personal opinion from 8 years in the cycling industry, I would say one piece handlebars, they look sexy. Like I'll say like it is. They are sexy, they are clean, they are nice, especially if you have like Di2 with it and it just looks epic, or even E-Tap, like they just look very beautiful. Now, the downside, like I said earlier on in this video, is just when you have something so elegant, it's usually going to have problems. It's like a supercar. So, it's just very unfortunate, because this is something that you wouldn't expect still in 2022. I'm not saying that, recalls are so crazy. How can we still have them? But it's like, you're spending that much money. You would hope that these problems would already have been, tested and pretty much avoidable, but obviously that's not the case. So that's why still I believe, just for ease of mind, unless you're, you have the extra cash to spend, I like just having the peace of mind that if I crash, if I ding it up, if I travel with my bike, I don't have to worry about any stress line fractures on one piece. But that's my opinion. So I'd love to hear what you guys have to say down below. Do you guys have a one-piece handlebar? Yes or no? Love to hear you guys what you think. And lastly, all I can say is if you know someone or if you yourself are riding a Trek that has been affected from this recall, please do not wait and get that bike in and swapped immediately, because avoiding a crash would be very, very recommendable, because you don't want to crash unnecessarily. So I'll leave it there. If you guys did enjoy the video, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and until the next one, keep on pedaling.